This call is now being recorded.
Yo!
I don't know what happened.
You should really pay your bill. You should really pay your bill.
I know, man. I must have overpaid, and they're hanging up on me.
Yeah.
You know.
Yep.
No, literally, just like, like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Never had problems in this area before. I don't know what happened. You know.
I don't know either.
But there's
sitting here listening to your, remembering stuff from your, sleep state.
Like there's
just ask Chuck about that when he comes on.
Yep. I think there was a reel I saw that said like, when you wake up and nothing your girlfriend says makes sense, she's literally like, make sure to strip off all your, make sure to get up and get dressed and run down to the store naked and blah blah blah. You make comments like that or whatever, and the guy's laying in bed like, huh? And make sure you grab everything, but come back with nothing, and right? It's like the ones where the guy calls his friends, he goes, I'm gonna call my friends and have a conversation. It doesn't make sense. He says, hey bro, how's it going, bro? And he's like, yeah, you remember last year tomorrow, the next year when I flew a flag over the boat out in the river of gravel and ran through a tunnel of leaves and blah blah blah, just make it all sense. The people on the video call are like, what, bro? Huh? Like when I smelled that really weird smell like breathing through my toes and blah blah blah, and I had reindeer antlers coming out my chest and blah blah blah. The guys are like, dude, what are you smoking? I was telling Rico about it. I was like, I'm not creative enough to like it takes me a little bit. I'm like trying to think on the fly and I think of like something to come up with or whatever. But I came up with pretty good for her. But then Rico was like, bro, I'd be like, okay, man, I got to call Aaron and probably have you committed because you're talking about such and such, and I'm really worried about you.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Tanagua, arms wide. Yep. That's all I could think of. Fucking Star Trek shit.
Yep.
Yeah, let's everybody get in the left lane when it ends, you fucking retards.
Now everybody's gonna do it.
So stupid. Oh yeah, so anyway. Yeah, so if he calls, ask him about how anything important his wife has to tell him only tells him when he's in bed, half asleep, and then argues with him like, how come he didn't remember? Like, oh, I told you we needed milk. Well, you might have been asleep when I told you. What? Yeah.
Yep.
Chuck was all upset. He couldn't put milk in his fucking cinnamon toast crunch because he was out of milk and his wife didn't tell him. But apparently she did, but he was asleep when she told him.
Yep.
Expected him to remember,
Yeah.
You know how it goes.
Yep.
I told him, well, you should just be able to read minds, Chuck. I mean, I don't know how you lasted this long in your marriage if you can't remember shit. Or you can't, anticipate everything.
Yep.
Yeah, shut up. All right. You're not funny. Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else going on? The same old shit? Other than trying to get everything straight?
Well, I mean, one thing that
Help build that.
wasn't happy about that $700 payment. I had to tap that $1,000 that was going to be towards the escrow, but we have until October 1st to take care of that. So I was like, I didn't have any other choice. I was like, all right, I'll just pay that.
Yeah, it's funny.
Really, yeah. No, I was saying,
I was just saying it's funny that every time you seem to get a little bit of money put aside, you got to fucking spend it on some other shit that you couldn't even anticipate in your fucking wildest predictions.
Well, still got the ones for the disability, but the other one, I went ahead and tapped that, but the disability one, I've been like...
Yeah, I know, yeah.
Like absolutely be like, I'm not touching that, I'm not, doing whatever
Yeah,
I can
because that's going to lead
whatever.
you to more income. You know what I mean? You got to invest a little bit in it to get more out of it.
And at least,
so yeah, that's absolutely
since that bill's knocked out, that should buy a little bit of time. Like shouldn't see another bill pop up for that one until like at least a couple weeks, and that'll be like for like sometime in the middle of like next month. So it's like we have time, and all the other ones they're already being dealt with. Like the car payment I did through split pay, and car insurance technically is okay for a minute, So it's like, since I'm planning, that's why I don't feel too bad about it, since I'm gonna do the disability when I get paid this week. I thought about when I was thinking about tapping that $1,000 anyway for the maybe at least 500 of it, but I thought, you know what, I wonder if I should go ahead and do 500 of that and go ahead and make that payment and get the disability part started now, because I've been going back and forth with the company anyway.
In a couple of weeks or whatever.
Yeah, if I get it started, get it started sooner, but I was gonna get started at the end of the week anyway. It's not like, but I've been emailing them, being like, what documentation do I need when I pay that fee? They're like, she's like, you need like your DD-214, like a screenshot or something of showing your disability, your current rating. Something showing that you have a prescription for your CPAP for like your sleep apnea. Which I was like, well, I have that. I don't have the original one back from Schneider, but I had one from back in like 2016 or something or 2017 or something when I got my current machine. This is back when we got the stimulus check. Where everybody got like $2,000 or something.
Oh yeah.
So like I did like 1,000.
Yeah, we're all paying for that shit now. We're all paying for that shit now. If you didn't get it, you're fucking paying for it.
Yep.
Just saying.
I mean, we're paying for a lot under the current administration. But any administration, everything.
There was a lag. Yeah.
Yep. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, man. I don't want to necessarily be financially dependent on just the job, because who knows you never know what could happen.
I know.
Paycheck, next day not have a paycheck, even though with us truckers, I mean, usually it's not too much of a worry for us, but they always say you're only one paycheck away from being broke, unless you are planning accordingly and stuff. But already getting the documentation together. I think I might need to just get my VA medical records. That was pretty easy. And then the D-214, got the prescription. I think I just need to do a screenshot of the rating. And then should be good. I asked her, I said, do you want me to send these to you like now, or do you want me to wait until I pay the fee and I'm no, just hold on to those until you pay your fee and go set up your account or whatever. Like it'll route you to a dashboard you can upload whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. Because that's how they use that documentation to start putting the evidence together. And I think I might meet up with medical people for whichever parts of it they have to like I don't know if I'd meet up with anybody in person or if it'd be like they get on a video call with me and ask me a bunch of questions. That's what I did before. I mean, I did actually meet up with somebody when they were doing for the back and the knee, and they had me like twist and whatever. Bend this way, bend that way, and it was right after it was while I was still recovering from that fall down the stairs because of the ice or whatever. So they were like, twist this way, couldn't really twist that way. Bend down, can't really bend down too much. Oh yeah, you're very limited. Yep, I am.
Yeah. Told you, man. You don't want to listen.
But I figure the sooner I get it started, the better off we'll be. You know.
Yeah. Oh.
I think it sounds like, if I remember, you know, again, I was half asleep during the phone call, so pretty sure she said Allie's going back to, I guess she's getting it with McDonald's again. Sounds like she's having to change her her hair, I guess, which is kind of weird because I could have sworn like
colored hair or whatever.
Yeah, well, I thought because Zoe when she worked in the one I hear. She had colored hair or whatever, like had dyed hair or whatever, and I don't think it was an issue if I remember, but maybe it's something that changed because I thought they didn't mind, they were okay with it, or it could be that story.
Well, yeah, different franchises too. You know what I mean? It's the McDonald's, but different franchises.
Yeah, but it was that. I mean, Erin made it sound like at first she's like. I thought she said that, yes, Alex actually requested the video call. Oh, okay. But then when we were off the call and Eli showed up, you know, came over for a little bit to, you know, hang out with Aaron, and then was downstairs hanging out with Zoe, you know, around the time that I left work. I came out to get my stuff, you know, to heat up something or whatever, and I was like, did you say that Alex requested to talk to us? She's like, well, no, like, I called her, or I was texting her, and then we're going back and forth, and I decided to just go ahead and video call her. And Alex said, well, like, I would video call you, but you guys don't have FaceTime. And I was like, I heard that we can't actually FaceTime even on a Android, that they just send us a link or something. And she was, really? I'm like, yeah, that's what somebody told me recently. I don't know. I've never done it.
You could use, like, Google or whatever, too. You know what I mean? Or Facebook.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it said, like Google Meet or something. She was like, oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what I use for my mom.
FaceTime, Daddy.
Yeah.
So,
for my mom, we use Google Meet.
Yeah, there's all those different,
you
know, phone call or video call apps nowadays and stuff. So it's like we don't have to do. She's like, I can FaceTime from the computer. I'm like, you don't have to. You can still do it from the phone.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, yeah, it's not that. Hey, I've heard it's not that hard, but yeah, I've never done it, you know. But I guess she video called and you know was talking, and then I guess Alex heard her on the phone. I'm gonna talk to Nana. So then, you know, it became a big thing, and then she came in there and woke me up, which I'm like, that's fine. I mean, yeah, I want to sleep, but at the same time, I don't mind being woken up, you know, if it's like she's waking me up for something like what, you know, your wife might wake you up for, or waking me up for an important conversation. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe you should set, like, you know, a time and a day every week where you know, chat. So we make it a routine, you know.
Yeah, but that would. That's like Allie's not really a big texter or whatever. Like literally we'll message and like it.
Right.
Look at it for a while. So.
Yeah, but I'm saying if you make it a routine, like a set of time every month, like let's just say, like Sunday at 3:00. Every Sunday at 3:00, you guys have a conversation. You know, video chat, so you know you can see the the grandkiddo and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
That's not that's just something maybe you should approach her about. Just for your sake, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
It would help you guys out tremendously to have some kind of thing set up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, it's like Erin actually, cause she a couple times asked me like, well, like you can reach out to her. I said, yeah. But she can reach out to me too. I was always the one initiating the conversation here, you know. And it's like when she left, I was like, well, I'm not going to keep being the one to always initiate because then, it's like, even though I love our chat and seeing her on video for the few minutes I did today, it was like seeing her. Obviously, it was great, but
Yeah.
I don't want to be the one that's calling her every time or texting her or whatever. You know, like I've said in some of the episodes I've done, is like even a simple, "Hey, Dad, how you doing? Are you okay?" And I'll be like, "Well, a lot of times, no, I'm not," or or might be okay that day or whatever, but just be, checking in, without me checking in with her all the time. Because I check in with my parents, with the kids, I've kind of told them, like, I said the biggest thing is like, regret later in life, I was like, I'm trying to do differently now than when I was younger because, I know I did things that my parents are still not happy with me today, but I've apologized profusely about them because I know it's like, hey, I know I fucked up when I was younger. I can never make up for it. I'm sorry, Oh, yeah, we got you, But, I'm like, I'm trying to be better now, obviously, like, try to make you guys proud or whatever, do the best I can. Because they're like, well, someday you get your act together. I'm like, well, it's not that I don't have my act together. It's just that we've never been, I mean, now we're doing good, but for a while, we were never upper middle class or whatever like they were. Like, my parents have always had a house.
Yeah.
Always.
Well,
my mom was always in a high-level nursing career, making really good money or whatever. My dad was retired military, so, things are good at home. Like, we never really wanted for anything or needed stuff because I annoyed them as a kid because they were always like, your shoes are falling apart. And I was like, oh, they're fine. Like I wear stuff till it dies,
Uh-huh.
No, you need new. No, I don't, Dad. Those pants, even though they're nice and they're shredded down by the leg, they're fine. They still fit. Still feel good. They're comfortable, Even now, Aaron gets pissed because I don't ask for stuff. Like, I'm like, but being the major breadwinner, I'm like, if I need something, I'll just fucking buy it myself. Like, I get my own shit. Like, I don't. Like, buy a random pair of shorts or whatever, and I'm like looking at them going, why did you buy these? Oh, because they're cargo shorts. I'm like, these aren't cargo shorts. I don't know what these are. And then they didn't fit anyway. Like, she's like, I got the biggest size. I'm like, yeah, I think she got them off Temu or something. So like, when you get like 3XL from Temu from China, and it's like you can barely get them on because they're
biggest
small.
size for them.
Yep. I was like, I can get them on, but then if I barely bend over to like, pick up something, that's how tight they were. Like you bend over to pick up something and they slip down. I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. Like, so I was polite about it. I was like, I tried them on. I mean, they're really nice, but I was like, they definitely don't fit. Oh, they don't. I got the biggest size. Yeah, it's all. I was like, I figured I'd let you know. Just, I don't know if you could return them. And she went online. She goes, actually, I'm getting a refund, and they're not making me send them back. I'm like, oh, cool. All right. Well, that's good. Because I'm like, I was like,
35 cents.
Random, yeah. I'm like, I appreciate it, but when you're, I was like, I'm good. I pick my own clothes. Like I wear certain things.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, I don't buy her clothes, I don't try because I ain't gonna, I don't know her exact sizes, and I know that she's very particular on like what styles that she wants to wear, so I don't fuck with that, It's like,
I like the shirt, Chris, because it's from you, but I can't cover my boobs when I wear it.
It just covers
well,
my
that's
neck.
The point.
It doesn't go down any further.
Point. Yeah.
Yep. You got me a string, and then a G string, and that's what I, it's as much for you as it is for me.
No, I finally caught up to you, Chris. Here you are. Outside of Hagerstown. Oh, you're pulling a 53-foot FedEx trailer, right? That's you.
Yep. Last couple days, I've been pulling the regular FedEx trailers. Then today, I've had two of the intermodals.
Oh,
What did I
Peterbilt.
know?
It's
The
not
landing
good.
gear stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's a better truck. Honestly, I like the Volvos,
It's a
but
big
I'll always be partial to the Peterbilt, man.
It's a day cab, though. You don't want that.
Honestly, if I knew the pay was going to go up, when I left Cohen, I might have actually toughed it out with him. It stuck with him for a little bit.
Yeah.
But when I left, I was like, I'm really not making that. I mean, I was making okay. I was probably making a couple $100 less per week than what I'm making now. I was running a lot harder, I think. And away from home for 2 weeks at a time, whatever. But when the truck broke down, it was like, yeah, I'm going to take this as a sign I should go ahead and call it and come home. Because, not like I'm making a killing out here and loving life, whatever, didn't feel worth it,
I was behind a Cohen guy he was doing the 71, the same speed as I was. He was driving a white Peterbilt sleeper. Obviously he was an owner operator going that fast. That's what my guess is. Because I've never seen them go that fast before. Yep.
If I remember correctly, I don't think we were governed. I don't think our Peterbilts were Cohen. I don't think we had a governor on them, but they basically,
we probably had like a 5 or 6 mile an hour rule or whatever, Sorry.
Something like that, and like they were tracking you, like if it showed that you went through like a construction zone and you were speeding or whatever. Like, they would catch us when we would come into the terminal for something. Like we had to come in there to, I don't know, pick up like, hey, come on through here. We're gonna do your annual or your quarterly inspection or something. Just come on in here when you're in town, this load, whatever. But then they would call you in and they'd be like, by the way, we want to talk to you really quick. They'd have like 3 or 4 of us. They'd be, by the way, like, at Blodgett, it showed that you were going 67 and a 55. What are you talking about? So like over such and such, whatever, through this zone. And I was like, I was totally not going 67 and a 55. I was like, well, because they would look at it. Well, I mean, like I know sometimes it's a little bit off, like but it said there was a 55 mile an hour speed limit. I was like, no, it was that. I was like, it was like 65 right there. There's no construction in that area, and they're like, oh, okay. But sometimes, okay, yeah, I totally,
out of date information.
Yeah, or like, it might have caught it where because it would ping you when you first hit it. So you'd still get flagged even though you dropped your speed right when you realized it.
Yeah.
So a couple of those, I was like, yeah, I was, and I slowed down. Like, okay, yeah, we see that. Was it just us trying to touch base with all of you guys? Just be safe out there. And
we're watching you.
And we're like, yes, sir. Because it was a safety guy trying to, be on top of stuff. We're like, we understand, yes, sir. They're like, or if you're over like so many miles an hour over the speed limit or whatever. Like for us, I think the camera dings and says slow down or whatever if you're like over 10 over. But it does. But if you're below that, it won't actually. Yeah. So like, if I'm going 60 and a 55 or 64 and a 55, it won't say anything. But if I end up going down a hill and I'm going 67 and a 55, slow down.
Yeah. Speed warning.
Oh, shit. It did, like, on my way back from St. Louis last night, or Monday night, I guess, cruising right along, 70 miles an hour. I had because we're governed at 65, had it, cruise control set, just cruising right along, nobody around, nothing at all. Slow down, speed limit exceeded. I literally, so I didn't do anything because, of course, I'm cruising along 5 below the speed limit. Speed limit exceeded. This time I responded to the camera. I said, it's fucking 70 miles an hour. I was like, I don't know what your problem is. It's like,
seeing shit. That's a do not enter sign. That means stop.
Yep. Hell, I think at Love's, when I'm getting back on the, where to stop at hit Arby's or whatever, it's got 2 roundabouts. Like, I don't have to deal with one of them if I'm coming towards St. Louis, but if I'm going toward Kansas City, I get off and I take the first roundabout, and then I do a little straightaway, and get a second roundabout that then takes you over to Love. Because it's got, like, 3 different turnoffs or whatever. It's a weird setup, but when you get back on...
That's because they want to put in 2 traffic lights right next to each other. Yeah,
pretty much. But, like, you got to come out of Love, and you take that first right on a little bend on the first part of the roundabout. But then you veer right, you get back on the interstate going east. There's a yield sign right there when I first get on the start to go into the roundabout. The other day I was a little bit further to the left, so I was like closer to that sign. And I went into the roundabout and went to get on the interstate. Rolling stop detected. I was like, that's not even a round sign.
Love it.
I had the triangle sign. What the fuck, you know? Went through a triangle.
You're supposed to stop at yield signs too. I thought you knew that.
Yeah, apparently. It's like, at least I could take comfort in the fact that, like, the majority of whenever the camera has gone off for me, it's bullshit stuff. It's not even stuff that I've done, you know.
Yeah. That you hope when they review it, it'll be like, oh,
and
this is wrong.
Yeah. Or
that's the problem with that technology. It's just not good enough for it to be accurate.
I think I was coming out of Ladex, and I was, you know, like maybe going 4 or 5 miles an hour, kind of just putting along. I wasn't even really moving. I bent down to move something, like move my bag, it shifted on the floor or something. And nobody around me, not a trailer in front of me or to the side or whatever.
I bent
down, do that. Huh? Yeah, well, that's pretty much what I did. Watch, pay attention. Or please keep your eyes on the road. I said, I'm not even moving. I'm like creeping here. Like the speedometer isn't even changed. Like, oh man. I was like, yes, sir. Come on, Chuck, where the fuck you at, man?
He was done for the day, but he still had to take Deb to work, so he should be calling.
Oh, I got it. Got to get him on here. Got to get
Janelle. She calls.
Yeah, get John on here. I was kidding.
He should be calling soon too.
Oh yeah.
Whatever. Let it be. What it be. Yo.
Hour ahead. She calls for like half an hour before she gets to work.
Yeah, it's 6:30. 6:30 here.
Yep. Oh, that's one thing too. You know, she got off the road and took that office job. Apparently, my boss, my manager, or whatever, is apparently they messaged in the company-wide chat for the Kansas City area. I guess he's looking for somebody to work in the office with him that would then also like be his backup if he took vacation or something. He's like,
right.
Like if anybody wants to put their hat in the ring, whatever, blah blah blah. You know, you would occasionally drive if you needed. But, you know, you learn, and of course, like, their office is not, like, very well air-conditioned. You know, like, when we were all in there for the safety meeting, we were all, like, sweating our asses off, and we're like, can we hurry this up? Because we're, like, dying in here. no overhead fans. They had a couple, like, the little oscillating fans up front, but this is a big room in front that, you know, everybody sitting up front could probably feel it, but me and Aaron and everybody over closer to the front of the office. You know, we're all back there going, ooh, it's hot in here, man. But I told Erin about it. I was like, yeah, it looks like Rex is looking for office help, whatever. And she was like, oh. I was like, yeah. I was like, I thought about it briefly, but then I'm like, I'm not really an office worker, you know.
Yeah.
And plus, I was like, she's like, well, plus you'd probably roast your ass off in that office. Yeah, I was thinking that too. It's like I'd probably be bored. You know, I was like, it would have to be really, really good pay, and like,
yeah.
Plus the problem is like, it wouldn't be set hours. It'd be like I would think you'd be on call too if you're like covered for him. You know, you'd be like on call to respond if a driver needed help or something. And I'm like, if it's like an office job where I'm like it's set hours and after you get off you're done, like you're not like on call have to deal with shit. Yeah, I might take a regular job if I can make what I'm making now, but I have like 8-hour days, you know. But I don't think it would be like that though. I would think I'd be on call, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that shit. You know, I think I'm gonna stay where I'm at.
Yeah.
I was like, I was tempted to ask, what's it pay? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but I'm like, yeah, I don't. See, right now I don't have to deal with you directly like too often unless there's an issue. I don't know if I'd want to be in there working with you 24/7. Well, not 24/7, but working with you like for an 8-hour day or whatever and stuff. Because the last office job I did, I think it was back when with my ex. You know, when we moved to Montana, whatever, we worked in this little dental office that was turned into a call center, and we were making like $700 a week. It was like this company called like Audio Video Web or something. It's like video web streaming, hosting type stuff.
Huh.
It was interesting. Like she was tech support,
like
I was yeah, pretty much. It was back like when I think there were laptops out, but basically all the computers were like the big desktop computers, big towers, big monitors, you know. And yeah, so it was good, but even though we were doing pretty good at our jobs, the company, like all the workers there were real into like World of Warcraft. It was a thing. When you get done with your shift, because we had to use our own computers at work, so we had to set up our own desktop computers at our workstation at the office. That's what we did to use to get online, because we weren't provided with a computer. And but after work, everybody would log on to World of Warcraft, and we were all like one big group, you know, like bunch of warriors, bunch of warlocks. Of course, I was like a human female priest or something, and so I would keep everybody alive.
Healer, very good.
Yeah, but after being there for a couple months, things. I thought things were going pretty good, but then we both literally got fired on the same day. Like they fired me first. I came into work and they're like, "Yeah, we don't feel that you've come far enough in like learning your job and stuff, and you know we feel that you've been too addicted to World of Warcraft." I'm like, I'm literally just doing what you guys have told us to do, you know. But they fired me and basically told me, "Go ahead, go home and like tell Lori that she's fired too." Oh, okay. So I got to go home and basically tell her that we were both terminated at the same time. She's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah." So we came back up there to get our computers and our stuff, but you know, it was like, wow, okay.
Wowzers.
Yeah, but
too into the thing that we got you addicted to. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, you know, because you should have learned. You should be like a lot further along as far as like how knowledgeable you are at your job. I'm like, I literally just customer support. Like I literally just answer questions, try to sell them. You know, talk to them, answer the questions about the different packages or whatever. But it's like, it wasn't hard. I thought I was doing pretty well at it, but they were like, no, we feel like
you probably were.
You know, yeah. So it might have been probably just get like they, you know, maybe they weren't making enough, and they had to downsize, and we were the two newest employees there, so they were like, well, let's cut them back. And we're like, we moved all the way up here to get this job, so but never really been a office guy at all, you know.
Yeah. Hard to imagine myself. I worked, in a pizza shop. I worked in the print shop. You know what I mean? But that was all to get me, through, to do an EMS. You know what I mean? Like getting my certificates and all that shit, certification. Yeah. And once I got all them, I was out in the street, and I had, always been out in the street. So,
yep.
Going from EMS to trucking is really not different. It is, but it isn't. Just driving a larger vehicle, going longer distances.
Yep.
You're still delivering something somewhere. You know what I mean? Whether it's bodies or fucking material. No different.
Yep.
I mean, it is, but like being on the volunteer side, even like downtime and being in the office and like handling stupid stuff, like everyday stuff, or making sure, like one of my jobs on the volunteer side was, making sure we have the equipment we needed, restocking. We use like 18 oxygen masks in a month or whatever. You know what I mean? I'd have to make sure we had enough and, order more if needed, that kind of thing. That was, boring as hell. It was boring as all.
Damn.
But, it needed to be done. And, at the time you don't think about it. But, right? I'd get so bored if that was my only job, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Meanwhile, I could sit at a computer for 3 hours and write shit.
Yeah.
No problem. But that was, because I wanted to, and I was having fun doing it.
Yeah, for a little while when I was not able to work over at the firehouse because of my security clearance had been pulled or whatever when I was in service.
Right.
Because I had debts with my ex-wife. They were like, well,
you're a bad boy.
Yeah, like you have all these debts, so you're apparently high risk because you're going to go overseas. And I'm like, who am I going to talk to over there? Like, who am I going to sell information to over in Kyrgyzstan? I don't know fucking anybody over there.
Yeah.
Like, these high-ranking, oh, yeah, okay, But for a while they had me working.
I'm like an E3. What am I going to do?
Yeah, And this is before I did before I helped over at the chaplain. Or the chapel, whatever, they had me over at I think it was just like logistics, where they had like the equipment or whatever. So I was helping them over there, and that was a lot of just, hey, you're just cataloging this, you're, organize that, you're gonna do this. And it was like I would be there for the entire day and be like, bored as shit, because, hey, take care of this task. Okay. 20 minutes later, you're done. All right, what else? We don't have anything for you right now. Just go ahead and hang out over there, and blah blah blah. And I'll let you know if I need you. And like, end of the day, go, okay, hey, go ahead, head out, yes sir. At least at the chapel, like they, there was like multiple chaplain assistants, and then the chaplain was a pretty cool guy, whatever. So I actually enjoyed working there. Wanted to kind of cross train into that since I figured they were trying to like downsize the fire department anyway. But and I was getting good, getting to work.
But you shouldn't really downsizing emergency services is a bad idea. But it happens all the time.
Well, they were bringing a lot of civilians in there to run the firehouse, whatever. So it's like.
Oh, civilians, yeah.
Yeah, but they were still. It's weird, they were coming in, but they're still operating underneath the master sergeant that I guess was the one in charge of that fire station. So he was still in command technically, but then you had all these civilians that were answering to him. And it's like, oh well.
Yeah.
Yep.
We talk about getting rid of the EMS task force in Jersey for down. I'm like, that's such a fucking bad idea.
Yep.
The people that respond to like major incidents in your state, like recoveries and things like that, and, natural disasters. Yeah, let's get rid of those guys. That's a good idea. Oh, it's too expensive to maintain their equipment and blah blah blah. Right, Schneider, why did you get over here? Really, dude?
Yep.
What an asshole. Like, now you're getting back. Oh, because the car sped up. Okay, I get it. He was going to pass the car, and the car sped up. I get that.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
I get that. But, it had to be me.
Yeah. With that English proficiency thing that they're putting, like, I think I read something the other day that put, 20,000 drivers out of service because they can't read or...
Yeah.
But I'm like, and it makes sense, but at the same time, I'm like, but they always complain that there's a fucking driver shortage. So it's like, you guys are, you're fixing the problem, but, there's companies out there that are always needing drivers.
Well, that's because they're terrible companies. It's really not sure.
Or people, I guess, drivers quitting because, obviously, the companies that are hiring aren't paying them enough. It's like,
that too.
If you want to keep them,
So the language proficiency thing, they shouldn't be getting CDLs. It's the regulation. You know what I mean? You got to be able to read and comprehend the English language.
Yeah, because
so you're not driving on the road that you're not.
That's how these guys are. That's how they're doing it. They have translators when they're taking the test or whatever, so they're able to pass it technically, and even though they're not understanding it.
Yeah. Or are they getting it illegally?
Flip-flop warriors.
Yep.
Flip-flop warriors. I should have looked at the shoes of whatever the guy was wearing the other day when I dealt with a guy that I don't know if I told you about him, the one that questioned me on my way out of Love's or whatever. Literally walking out with the coffee and my bag of Arby's or whatever, like, hey, is that you? I'm like, so he was at the fuel desk. I'm walking out the door. He stops me. I'm like, he points at my truck. I'm like, yeah, that's me. He goes, can you move? I'm like, I'm literally on my way out the door now. I was like, he's like, oh, because I have a guy behind me. All the other fuel lanes are open. He pulled in behind me, and the guy pulled in behind him. And I'm going, there's nobody else. What are you guys doing? Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? And so.
Well, when they got there, they all cleared out.
I was like, I literally stopped. Because I wanted to say something else, but I stopped and took a deep breath for a second. Calm down.
Yeah, like where you were pulled up at the fuel island, right? Like you were in the,
I was up at the line, up at the front,
Yeah.
Because I fueled, and then I pulled forward, and, I
they go in and do what you need to do.
Yeah, because there's been times where, everything's full, so, there's already a truck at the line, and I'm at the pump. I won't even park and go in, when the guy in front of me's gone. I'll sit for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'll just, I'm going to wait until he moves, and then I'm going to pull forward, then I'll go in. I don't.
Yeah.
You got the guys that'll park behind the guy that's at the pump, he's back 50 feet.
And then go in.
Yeah, then their truck is back there all by itself.
Yep.
And it's
listen.
So. But. So I'm up there at the line. This guy is this Indian dude. Can you move? And I'm like, so I came over to him, I literally you could say, kind of pointed, put a finger in his face, said, "You need to calm the fuck down." What do you mean?
Yeah.
I was like, if you hadn't stopped me, I would already be at my truck and be pulling out. I've been here for 2 minutes talking to you now, and I could have already been gone. I was like, I'm allowed to come in here and get coffee and food. Why no, man? But I've got a guy behind me, and I'm like, I understand that, but I've literally been here.
That's not my fucking problem.
I was like, maybe in past the 15 minutes because Arby's sometimes they're pretty busy, so sometimes they're backed up, and they'll tell me when I go in there to order, hey Chris, we're a little busy right now, it's gonna take a minute. All right, don't worry about it. I was like, I'm already gonna piss the guy off behind me. It's all good.
Yeah. Welcome.
They're like, you're okay with waiting? If I give you some fresh fries, hell yeah. Go for it. Or throw fresh chicken down. Yeah, go for it. I was like, they're already gonna be pissed at me. I might as well make it worth it.
Yep.
So, but I was like, I understand that, dude. But I come in here as quick as I can. Blah blah blah. It's like. So, and then I stopped before I left. I turned back around. I pointed at him again. I said, so I shouldn't go out there and take a nap? He looked at me and I started laughing. I'm messing with you. Oh, you funny dude, man. You a funny dude. I was like, but seriously.
Yeah, well, why don't you go in the bathroom and wash your feet in the sink, you dirty motherfucker? So I was pissed.
Yeah. And then, what's funny is I, try to do these videos, either every day, do a reel, a 3-minute reel, a short, because it's also making sure to throw out there on those reels, like, hey, by the way, check out the podcast, BlodgettShowPodcast.com. Check out the coffee shop, BlodgettCoffee.com. You know, it's my way of still putting content out there and still always, you know, promoting the podcast and the coffee shop. But on that, the part of that, or the subject of that video, I guess, was patience. And I talked about, you know, the fact that common courtesy, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to pull up the line and then, you know, go in. I said usually it's like 10, 15 minutes. I said sometimes I might be in there 20 minutes if I get held up. You know, but I said usually try to be like, usually I'm in there fairly quick, 10 minutes, whatever, hit the bathroom, get coffee, get food, and go. Sunday night, I'm walking the dog, and it says, you had a comment on your video. The other trucker literally comments on my reel, no, sir, you're not supposed to go in there for 15, 20 minutes to get Arby's, sir. Like, that's what parking spaces are for. Like, you need to, like, if there's no parking spaces, then... No. But he's like, there's no parking spaces, then guess what? No Arby's and coffee for you. And I replied to normally I would get pissed, but on that comment, I basically replied back. I was like, I appreciate your comments, but sir, we're gonna have to agree to disagree because literally what you're supposed to do is you're not supposed to go in at the pump. You're supposed to pull forward to that line so people can pull it behind you and try to get in and out as quick as you can, like, you know, 10, 15, whatever minutes. I said sometimes it might take 20 because there's a line or something in there. I was like, I work at night. There's never parking spaces that are open. You know, or you know, if you wait for a parking space for you to go in, I was like, they would never do enough business because drivers would never go in.
Yep.
Like, they would just be like, oh, you want us to park before? I was like no. And he never replied to my comment or my reply, but I'm like, yeah, it's not surprising because I made a good argument for him. I was like, I understand that that's how you operate, but he's probably one of the ones that will pull in behind somebody that's at the line. He'll park behind them, and he'll run in and do his stuff. And then expect to be able to just leave in like 5 minutes. And it's like, well, you know, it's like, or he's probably one of the ones that would back out and then drive off that way and stuff. It's like, well.
Those parking spots are for truckers who are there to go to sleep and shit.
Yep.
They're not there for you to go in and get Arby's. They're there for other drivers who are on, you know, taking their breaks and shit. The pull up is for you to go in and do what you need to do, not take a shower, not fucking, you know, stick around, take your 30-minute break. That's not what it's for.
Yep. And I was
you know, there should be like a 15, 20-minute limit or whatever, but there's not.
Yeah. And you know,
but I'm not going to take a parking spot up.
Yeah, because I was like,
from somebody who wants to go in and sleep to get fucking food. Sorry.
And
exactly.
When he was saying
with 8 other lanes open.
He's like, there's no excuse. It doesn't matter if there's nobody behind you. Like, you don't need to go in there for 15, 20 minutes. I'm like, I was like, I was like, well, you know, I do the same. I'm there every night. I was like, I rode the same route. I was like, I'm not gonna not get my food, coffee. I was like, I work all night. I need to, you know, you gotta make it through the night. I'm not just gonna not eat or not have my coffee because you're telling me, well, you shouldn't pull forward and go in. Like, fuck you. Like, if that's how you want to operate, man, you know, maybe you have your truck equipped with all your stuff, whatever. So I'm like, what do you do? He probably pees in a bottle. You know, he probably just leaves and
probably
go in because
they probably leaves the bottle on top of the fuel pump. Fucking disgusting.
Well, we got when we did the safety meeting, apparently we got our asses sued because I guess we have drivers for our company that apparently are parking the trucks back there at FedEx and not cleaning the truck out. So Rex has gone in there to take a truck to like the shop to have work done and have fucking pee bottles in the truck.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, guys, what the fuck? Like, this is fucking ridiculous. And I guess one of them, the pee bottle actually leaked all over the place or whatever, and so like he had to have one of his assistants like actually clean the truck. He goes, that's a fucking hat. He's like, that's a hazmat position right there because that's a hazardous material. And we're like,
highly fluids. Yeah, dude.
Aaron looked at me or whatever, and I was like, that's why, like, I don't use pee bottles because I make sure to stop and do what I gotta do. But I said, but I also don't keep the truck trash. Like I have a trash can in here that gets bagged up and tossed at the end of every week. And then when new bags put in there or whatever, I sweep it out. I'm making sure the truck looks good all the time and keep it smelling good or whatever. Because it's like not that hard. I mean, if they let it go for a while, then obviously then you got to really clean it to make it look good and smell good again. But if you sweep the dirt and the crumbs and do a quick spray a couple times a week, then you're usually it's pretty good. But some of these guys, I guess, are just nasty fuckers. And it's funny is that we got cameras facing us, so it's like you're leaving pee bottles in there, they're being recorded, even though it's not logging it as much, like if you're not activating it, whatever. So it's like, well, it's like, why would you leave it like that? Yep.
That one.
So
Lazy, disgusting, whatever you want to call it.
yeah. So that's why I was like, I debated, like, do I even reply to his comment? I was like, yeah, I'm going to reply. I was like, well, we'll have to agree to disagree if that's how you want to do it, but this is, that's not how, I was like, otherwise a lot of us are wrong because a lot of us pull up to the line and go in. So,
yeah.
of course, I keep
that's what it's there for, so you can go inside.
Yep.
I agree that it's not there for you to go fucking take a shower and do all sorts of dumb shit for half an hour.
You shouldn't go in there
be
going in there for Arby's and stuff. Like, no, I'm going to go in there and get food and coffee. Like, that's... So it's like,
It's just his opinion and yours are different. And if he wants to live that way, that's fine.
Yep.
Good for him.
Because I was one of the guys that the cashier or the cashier that I deal with at Love's or whatever, he's there. I think he's Friday and Saturday he's off, but like Monday through Thursday I'm seeing him. Like, hey William, how's it going? Hey brother, how you doing, man? But I was telling I was like the other day, I did a video because I had this one guy questioned me on my way out the door, and then somebody commented on that reel, blah blah blah. And I said, like, at least I'm not like, I said I deliberately won't park at the pump. I mean, I've done it if like absolute emergency, like there's a truck in front.
Like I got to run in, I'm gonna shit myself.
Yeah, like oh crap, yeah. Then I'll park at the pump and be like, run in really quick because it's like I ain't gonna make it till you move. But
yeah,
I was like, yeah, at least I'm not doing like one of these where I park at the pump and go and take a shower. He goes, we call the cops on those motherfuckers. I say, you do? He's like, yeah. Sometimes they'll even do inspections. Like they'll actually inspect, make sure that all their paperwork and everything is all like they'll do a thorough inspection once they get. I'm like, that's awesome. Because like we'll knock on their door or whatever, but if we realize they're in here taking a shower or whatever, we'll have the cops come and then the tow truck shows up and blah blah blah. I'm like, well, that's what you gotta do, Some of them will the truck will just be at the pump for a while, like they'll be inside and. I'll fuel, I'll pull up, I'll go in, do what I gotta do, and I'll come out and the truck will still be sitting there at the fuel pump. And it's like, at least I'm not you, but then I'm up front for like 10 minutes and I get a guy trying to chew me out or whatever. I'm like, fuck you, I'm not doing anything I'm not supposed to do. Now if I'd been here for 45 minutes, then okay, you have every right to be pissed off right now. But 15, 20 minutes, I figure it's like if 15 or 20 minutes, waiting for a guy to go in and come back, if that's going to ruin your whole day, you got a problem.
Yep.
Now, if that happens like 4 or 5 times throughout the day, then I can see that being an issue. But, I do like one stop on my way to St. Louis and stuff, so it's not like I'm trying to cause problem for too many people. Dude, man.
But causing problems for people is fun.
Yep. And that was because I post pretty much post them everywhere. But like when I upload them to YouTube, I deliberately have comments turned off. Like I never had comments enabled on YouTube, but on like all the other ones, like when I upload to Instagram, it automatically uploads to my Facebook as well. And then of course this is after uploading to TikTok and then downloading the video from there. Those have comments on them, but YouTube, I figure from my experience, when I've seen people comment on random videos, they can be, not exactly the most pleasant on YouTube. So I'm like, I don't want to deal with that shit, so I just upload videos and don't have comments. But
Yeah.
when I first started trying to build my channel, I had so many comments that go to try to signal to get over, and a guy is like, gets over to pass me, flashes lights, like, what are you doing? I'm like, all right, never mind. You go ahead. I'll let you stay on that lane. And then he's hovering back there. I'm like, are you going to pass me? Like, no. But this one, I guess a trucker commented on when I was doing a YouTube video or whatever. Oh, another dumbass trucker, like me. That's basically his comment. And I was like, oh, hey. Yep, there's a lot of them.
Well, you truck shouldn't be on those roads with other people, because too big and you're always in the way, you're too slow. Yeah, how do you like that car you're driving, the clothes you're wearing, the gas that's in that car that you're driving? How do you like that shit? Like it? Convenient for you? How about that fucking sandwich that you're stuffing in your face? You like that? You would have none of it without a truck. I mean, some people just don't realize what they say.
Yep.
Like there was an accident recently, and there's video of it. This four-wheeler just like hammering through a stop sign and hits a fucking tractor trailer, and the tractor trailer goes off and goes into a house. And there's some people on there commenting about how trucks, shouldn't have been on that road or whatever, this, that, and the other thing. Like, but the car ran the stop sign. You missing that part. You missed the part where that car was in so much of a fucking hurry they couldn't even bother to stop at a stop sign.
Yep.
When the truck had the right of way, like there was nothing he could do.
Yep. People.
I mean, it's pretty fucking clear, but what do I know?
Yep. Well, people will talk out their ass or whatever.
Yeah, and that person got fucking roasted. Got roasted on there.
What, the driver of the truck or the
larger? Car? No, by other people people that are drivers or whatever. Because apparently her profile picture, showed she was a pretty large woman. And, so, like you wouldn't have that fucking sandwich the third sandwich that you just ate without a truck, fucking dumb bitch. Stuff like that. Yeah. Real, well thought out and properly grammared comments,
Yep.
Eloquently spoken or written comments.
Yep.
It's just another example of people just say shit and don't think about it, and then cry when they get eviscerated by it.
I think Rico's been dealing with that shit with he's not I guess he's a member of some of these Facebook groups or whatever that he sees a random post in there. And I guess some of them are racist type groups, or it's either all black or all white or whatever. And there's been a couple things that he's told me about where it's there's one where I guess it was a black dude went onto a school property with a knife, with a weapon, and basically got into a fight with a white kid. And the white dude, I guess he was, after going at it with a fist fight a little bit, the white dude basically fell back and was backing off, and the black dude pulled the knife and stabbed him and basically killed him. The white dude was an army. And of course he got tried and convicted and sentenced to 80 years in prison or something. And of course all these people were telling Rico, he's like, no, I was self-defense, blah blah blah. I'm like, wait a minute, I was like, explain to me what happened again, and he told me, I was like, okay, but the white dude didn't have a weapon, right? He goes, yeah. I'm like, that's murder then. Like he,
Yep.
like he
And he was backing off, or he was trying to remove himself from the situation, and he still got. But at that point, it's over. You know what I mean?
Yep. Now, if the white dude had a weapon and came at him again, then it would have been, there would have been something like a defense right there. Like both of them are armed. He could have tried to say he was defending himself, but. It's like, man, and Rico was like trying to tell these people, like, you guys are dumbasses. Like, how are you guys trying to say, oh, it's a race car, blah, 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 because he was white, they're trying to do this, blah, blah, blah. They're like, no, the black dude was the one that fucking stabbed the other guy. It's like, I'm like, yeah, man. Or saying that, like, because I think there was another incident that was similar, and they were saying, oh, like, he shouldn't have, like, oh man, he shouldn't have gotten charged or whatever. Like, this is pointless. Like, you're siding with the white folks, whatever. And Rico's like, fuck you.
Yeah. No.
Like, everybody.
The race at that point, the race should have nothing to do with the situation. That's the people's problem. Is they look at races or colors or whatever, ethnicities. In situations like that, it has nothing to do with it. Maybe it started the fight. I don't know.
Yep.
But the outcome, it doesn't matter who was what color. The one kid was backing down. I've seen stuff on it. You know what I mean? He was backing down, and then the other kid went after him when it was over. Yep. Like that. Yeah, that's straight up murder. Yeah.
Yep. Like, can't really argue defense.
No, not at that point.
Oh, but it was the jury was stacked against him and this and that. Whatever, dude. Whatever, But I think there's another one that he said, like, it was flipped. It was like but I think in this case, I think it was like the between the black and white again, and I think the black person had a weapon again, but I think the white person ended up. I don't think he killed the black dude, but he, disarmed him and injured him pretty bad. And he still got charged, but then ended up being found not guilty. And of course, they were threatening, like all the whole community online that he was talking about he should get the death penalty. And he was totally, it was a hate crime. Blah blah blah. He fucking defended himself.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
It's like,
he didn't have a weapon, and he was being attacked with a weapon. And, he stopped the guy with the weapon. What do you want?
Yep. And then the evidence showed when they tried to take him to court and try him that basically he wasn't guilty of anything because the other guy was the aggressor. And it's like, man, everybody's like, oh, well, it was self-defense for him, but that one, he's totally trying to kill him. He should be, it's like, it's like, what the hell, man? I was like, man, the fact that he's a part of these communities or whatever. I'm like, Rico, man, I was like, man, you put up with too much shit with these people you're dealing with, man. I was like, I would be a member there. Yeah, I would be like, yeah,
That's doom scrolling right there.
It's a green light, man. And when you pull up and they're like, is that the green light? I'm like, come on, dude.
She called Janelle. One of her drivers is on the shoulder, broke down. Looks like he's dead. Or he's taking a nap, one or the other.
Yeah.
No, well. Yeah, well. Yep. Love it.
Yep. Part of why I love what I do. I don't have to deal with too many people,
Yeah?
Another reason why I don't like office work. I don't want to have to actually be out there working with people inside an office building. It was bad enough when I worked at the grocery store Publix down there in Nashville and stuff. Cause I
yeah.
people, but, and
yeah, you know, environments like that, there's their own cliques too. You know what I mean? Like within the, you know, you worked in like produce or something, and you know, you got the meat department. You know,
well, I was working
dairy,
seafood
departments.
Yeah, I was in seafood connected to the meat
All right.
department. So like, the guy I had to work with there though was one of those like try to tag you to help him with stuff. Like, hey, can you help me with this over here? And I'm like, that's not my job. Like, I'm over here doing this. Oh yeah, but you need to like roll this hamburger out, whatever. And I'm like, that's your job. Like that's literally your job responsibility.
What do you have to do? Like, what do you have to do that you can't do it?
I'm like, putting the seafood back in the back in the refrigerated section again, container, putting everything away and cleaning stuff, I mean, I still helped him out with the stuff. I didn't complain about it. I was like, I did it, But it was like, I was like, yeah, this is not my job, but wasn't hurting me to do it. So I was like, all right, I'll help you,
I mean, Jess deals with that stuff too, with working in retail,
Yeah.
I don't remember if we talked about it or not, but like she has like these 20-year-olds that are starting to work there that don't know how to count out change. You know what I mean? Like, they don't teach that crap at school no more. And they have like these apps on their phones that tells them what coins to get. Stuff is crazy.
Yep.
Even though it tells you, like, on the, what change to give, they don't know how to do it. They're like, 85 cents, they want to pull out 8 dimes and a nickel. Like, what?
I mean, technically that's not wrong.
Yeah, but
if they pull out 85 pennies, it's still the proper change.
Yeah, well, there's no more pennies. You can't use pennies anymore. So I don't know about where you're at, but out here they round up, round down bullshit.
Yeah, well, I've heard they're not making them anymore now. They're stopping production.
They're not. Yeah. So you got that. So they're not. Pennies are basically obsolete, and so I think it's actually easier for them to do that because the machine tells you, or the register tell them what change to give. But the fact that they can't figure out 85 cents to 3/4 and a dime is pretty fucking terrible.
Yep.
And then meanwhile, they got 20 people in line waiting, and they're getting pissed off because this kid can't count.
Yep.
Anyway. Good times.
Yep. When you go to disconnect it from the truck, and it reconnects, and I have to disconnect it again from the truck. I'm like, no. There's a reason I said disconnect and not reconnect. Yep.
What are you at, next Saturday?
Yeah, dropping the trailer here. Knock on wood, I actually haven't been called for the past week or so, probably because I'm running a little bit later, so I've been getting back like this. So I'm like, hey, it's been working in my favor a little bit.
Yeah.
Life work.
Yep.
All right, let's see. when I pulled in here and pulled in through space, there was already a switcher hooking up to a trailer. I'm like, I think I have a minute or two before he's back here trying to grab this trailer, so I have a minute to do the post-trip stuff on the computer really quick before he gets back here.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a minute anyway because the landing gear is pretty stiff, so it took me a little bit to crank it up. I couldn't crank it up that. I probably got it literally the minimum 18 inches off the ground because I was literally manhandling that going, I mean, it technically works, but freaking annoying though, when I'm sitting there going, you hear me like grunting the whole time, ooh, motherfucker! Yeah.
But like there's pressure on it when it's loaded, a fully loaded trailer, you're trying to crank it up.
Yeah. But that's even, when I'm cranking like that, even with it already off the ground and it's stiff, and I'm like, yeah, probably got bent or something. Sometimes I get lucky, like you'll get it crank it up a little bit, and it'll.
Oh, that's Al. Oh my goodness. It's Al Evie. That's the guy who was on the shoulder. He's on the road again.
Oh, hey. He woke up. He had his power nap.
Yeah.
He only needed 10 minutes, man.
Yeah, well, we used to park next to each other when I worked there. He
probably did the...
even though he wasn't looking over at me when I looked at him.
Yep. He might have did the coffee trick, down some coffee, lay down, take, says alarm for 10 minutes. All right, drink some coffee, put his head on the side of the window.
Yeah. He takes the siesta. He was on the road for 15 minutes, on the shoulder for 15 minutes. Yeah, he had cancer and shit, so whatever. Let him do whatever he wants.
Yep.
Wow, she pushed me to voicemail. Isn't that nice?
What's up?
She fucking dumped me to voicemail. I could have something important to tell her. What the fuck? Oh, shit.
Timed it right. Literally, as I'm getting back to unhook, he came around and parked right beside me.
Uh-huh.
I was
Like, hey, chill out, dude. I got to do my post trip.
No, I already did that. Sat that. Basically, you select the different things and check all the boxes. I'm like, I walked around and looked at stuff, and then, of course, at the computer, I just go, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, all the way down,
Mm-hmm.
And then sign logs. Who technically dropped it on the asphalt because I had it up. I had pulled forward, and I thought I was far enough to where the landing gear were going to be on that little concrete little strip.
Yeah.
But I guess
he's
I
just
was
going to
not
pick it
quite.
up anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well,
It's not going to be there.
When I dumped the airbags and pulled away slowly, and it stood on it just fine. And then he hooked up to it right afterwards. So
Exactly.
I know the issue with that is usually if you just drop it, it'll slam through and break through sometimes, won't it? Like if you drop them.
Yeah. Can.
So she sent you the voicemail. Huh?
Depends on the temperature and all that other crap, and the weight that's on that on there. But if he's gonna hook up to it right away, that's.
Yep. Yeah, at the hubs they got they got geese, like little flocks of geese that are just walking around the hub or whatever. Sometimes like drivers will have to like circle around to try to like avoid them. I mean, they're just literally in the middle of the drive. There's like 12 of them.
Yep. They'll move. Just get close enough, they'll fucking move.
And just I was like, we'll talk later.
Shit. She might be in already, or I'm gonna. That's okay. I'll when I get to Harrisburg here, text her and make her feel bad. Like, I had important shit to report to you, and you don't want to answer your fucking phone. One of your drivers is dead on the side of the road. She's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, oh, then they passed me 10 minutes later, so I guess they're all right.
Yep.
Okay, ignore my call again. See what happens.
Yep.
That's it's gonna be her famous thing. Fuck around and find out.
Oh yeah.
She loves to say that shit.
Yeah, there's this reel I think I reposted on Instagram that it showed I think it was another interracial thing too. I think it was two white kids came after and literally both of them were attacking this one black kid. And they got them both at once, and of course the black dude literally grabbed both of them, almost like lifted them both off the ground, slammed one of them on the ground, which knocked him out, and then basically knocked the other one down and started like punching him and whatever. And of course at that point you hear the mom like, get the fuck off here, fuck you, blah blah blah. And of course the kid tried to get back up, and the black kid like, got him a foot to the face, like kicked him. And fuck you, get off him, whatever. And of course, like the real switches to a guy talking about the video. He goes, hell no, you do not get to stand there while your two dumbass kids go 2v1 against one person. But then when they get their ass handed to them, all of a sudden now you're jumping in and saying like, get off him, stop it. But you weren't coming to his defense when they were trying to double up on him. It's like, I was like, that. They literally said, like, that's a prime example. Fuck around and find out.
That's right. Well, like, there was one recently, too, with was it some kind of doctor's office or something? I don't know. Some kind of office.
Yeah.
The cops are already there, and this guy was, like, going off with this woman, and she had this baby carriage. You see that one? Where the guy kicks the fucking baby carriage, and the fucking officer's, like, unloading that motherfucker. And then there's they take him down because he's out of fucking control. And the guy comes in like with his comments, and he's like, and standing in front of a judge, like, I don't know how that person got shot. But it was amazing that baby grabbed the gun and shot the guy. You know, it's like, you should just dismiss the case. Like, he was just making up this scenario. Because, you know, anybody, you know, would fucking, if somebody kicks, like, he kicked the stroller and went up in the fucking, like, left of the ground. It's not a lot.
And
But, like, kicked it hard enough where it moved and was off the ground for a second, you know? And slammed back down. Like, yeah, I would have fucked that dude up, but no, I wouldn't have stopped. No, he would have been dead. Sorry.
Yep.
And nobody in their right mind would fucking put me in jail for that.
Nope.
And it's all on video. It's all on video. You know.
Sorry. Ooh, man. Apparently
It was
doing a
funny.
drug test in the bathroom. I was like, ooh.
Oh, I hate that.
Literally, open the door. There's like a guy with a lady in there putting urine in a little vial. I'm like, oh, never mind. I'll be back.
Yeah. Well, at least they're in the bathroom, not in the hallway. You're next.
Yep. Like, usually they would do that stuff in the solo bathroom. I was like walking.
Yeah,
you know. I'm like, oh shit.
Well, it's got to be a drug test. It's got to be witnessed or whatever. Can't be seen emptying a fucking IV bag of urine into it.
Yeah.
You've heard of people doing that, where they tape a bag of urine into their leg.
Oh yeah.
To keep it warm and shit, and then fucking. Yeah, I've heard people doing that. It's crazy.
I was just trying to come in to like wash my hands or whatever. I was like, oh, never mind, I'll come back.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Put a
vial
sign on the
little
door.
in, she just poured it in there. Like, yeah, no.
Put a fucking tie in the door like a regular person. You know what's going on in here.
Bathroom's a little occupied. Oh, okay.
Occupado.
Yep.
Let's see. Time's up.
Yep.
Now I was just trying to figure out which way I'm going to go in here. There's no good way to get into this place coming from the mill because 19th Street Bridge is out because they're replacing it as they're redoing the highway here. Well, they had to remove all the bridges and they're doing one at a time.
Yeah.
Because they're not wide enough to expand the roadway. You know what I mean? So they got to take them out and then redo them. It takes like fucking years. It's crazy. So I get off and take 17th Street, but that's a hard ass right turn, especially with cars and shit. Wow. And fucking, of course, Stockbridge just fucked up. Why wouldn't it be? Oh, I know. I'm gonna get off the 2nd Street. Fucking take the accident. Yeah. Yeah. I really thought Chuck was going to call me back. He said he was going to call me back. I didn't have to give a shit.
He's blowing you off.
Yeah. Well, like, so when he was like, I have to call Deb when I was down there in Winchester at 5 a.m. They're like, that's fine, I'll just call me back. I'm just going to drop and hook and stuff, get my paperwork, and I'll, give me a call back. And then I text you, just so you were prepared for my call. I figured I'd call you while we waited and have him call in and be fun. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that was fucking 2.5 hours ago.
I am.
Dude, what the? Oh. All I see is break. All right, I need to get over it.
What's up? Yeah, what's up? The corner back there. Yeah, right over here. Yep. One of the English speaking drivers. I thought we're Lion Hall over here. Direction I just came from. Oh, okay. Thank you.
I was just
funny. Sometimes you'll say like.
What's that?
I was like, sometimes you'll, like, I'll have random drivers come in here and be like, I'm trying to explain to them, yeah, like back here, like the corner back here, that's where Lionel is. Oh, and they'll look at you confused. Oh, so, and I'm like, go around the building. It's one way. Go around the building all the way back to that corner back there, and that's where Lionel is. Oh, okay. And I'm like, see that? I was like, turn around, look back there. And he'll look back the direction. I'm like, see that corner back there? He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's where Lionel is. Oh, okay. It's like, I'm pointing right at it. It's right there. Does it say receiving or whatever? No, it says Lionel. It's like the only part of the building that has a big name above the corner of the door or whatever. It's, everywhere else has no text above any of the the entrances or whatever. I was like, you're going to go around there, you're going to park where there's a bunch of bobtails parked, and then, or if they have a trailer, I'm like, park along that wall right there in front of the bobtails. But sometimes I'll be trying to come out of there with a trailer, and, I have one outside carrier that'll be parked in back behind the bobtails, where I look at him and go, I don't know if I can make that turn, around the back part of the little parking area. And then there'll be one guy parked in front of Lion Hall, like not along the wall, but like halfway, like he's in the middle of the lane. And I'm like, again, I don't know if I can make that turn with half that space being gone. So I'm like, motherfucker, So sometimes I have to wait until one of those guys moves, so that way I can actually like get out. Because I'm like, I'm not gonna especially if one of them wouldn't have happened. I was hauling doubles. Like if I had a 53, then I'll just back up to try to go a different way, But
yeah.
last week one day I did doubles, and there was literally two Schneider trucks. They were both in back, and they were blocking the whole area, and I was like maybe like 10 feet behind the row of bobtails, and I was like, I made it. So I got past them, and I swung wide, and was able to do it, but I looked at it for probably 10 minutes sitting there looking at that clearance going, fuck, I don't know if I can make that. And I can't back up because I'm already too far in here, so I was like, do I wait? And I said, well, I have nothing to lose by trying to see if I can go past them. If anything, I just blocked them in, but they had 53, so they could back out. But then I got out of there, so I was like, all right. I was like, man.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. It's always interesting when you see people park in random locations. Like, why are you parking there? Like, what are you doing, man? I love it. They park with a 53. Sometimes where the bobtails are, like they'll pull in there where the bobtails are parked. Like you'll see a truck parked next to the bobtails and the trailer's sticking like 50 feet back. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to park like that. Because you ain't going to be able to get out of there because you don't have enough room to pull forward to where your trailer will clear the truck beside you. Like,
yeah.
All right. Good luck. I remember when I got with my Snyder truck, when I got clipped in the middle of the night or whatever, woke up to the whole truck shift to the left or whatever, and I was like, what the hell, and guy hit me in the corner. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. Okay. And then when I woke up 5 hours later, he was already gone. I had to let the Snyder Finance guys, when I turned the truck in, I had to let them know, by the way, there's damage on the front of the truck because of such and such, but I've got the guy's information, and,
right.
Oh, okay, yeah, just give me, when you turn the truck in, just write down the guy's information, company, whatever, and I was like, I'm just letting you guys know so that way, like, you guys don't try to charge me for it because it was not something I did. Like, I didn't wreck this. Yeah, supposedly Erin's been saying, I guess, that I thought she said this week she's going to try to take Zoe in to get her permit so that she could go and do those couple of the driving days with the driving school. But she's been off a couple of days this past. I think she was off yesterday and she's off today. And she was off a day, like, there's a day last week she was off too that she talked about going in there. But I'm like, are you going to take her? Because I can't do it, so you have to do it if it's going to get done. But
yeah.
But Zoe was actually talking about that she actually wants to get her permit, whereas before she was kind of like, but she wants to drive.
I don't want to go, Dad. It's my birthday.
Well, yeah, and she had the option with school to actually like live on campus. Because I told her it'd be easier if you live on campus. I was like, I don't want you to move away from home, but it'd be easier for you to live on campus, so you don't have to do like a 45-minute commute. And you literally just walk from your dorm to your class. It's pretty easy stuff. And she goes, yeah, but I don't want to live on campus. I want to commute. I'm like, well, you got to get your license. She goes, I know. Okay. I was like, I understand. All we can do is try to give the kids the best advice we can and let them do what they think is best. Like, so I'm like, that commute's gonna suck. I mean, it's not. I guess 45 minutes isn't terrible.
Nah.
At least she'll be putting the Buick, to good use or whatever. Lots of adding more miles on it and stuff, but at least it'll be getting driven on regular and stuff. That's on the list of when I get the disability back pain stuff. Like, I got to get my truck in because I've got a little issue going on with one of my hubs that I think I might have told you about, the vibration going on my back, my rear wheel or whatever, like accelerating down the road, the occasional it's not doing it like all the time, and I heard that could be like leaking lubricant or leaking oil or something off or a grease issue, like a seal, something back there. I heard it could be like up to like $1,200 to fix, but it could be a couple hundred if I do it. Like if I get the parts, I'm like, well, so I got to get that in there, but I want to get the Buick in to do a couple things with it, like new tires, new brakes, replace the tail light that got kicked back there in Nashville, when we were back there, some assholes back there. So we drove the car around the apartment complex and parked it for like 10 minutes and came back and the tail light was shattered like somebody kicked it or whatever. I was like, man. It's like when I was going to get the Mazda taken care of and I came back and it was all like vandalized or whatever. I'm like, shit. So you'll get the Buick all fixed up, have her be driving it for a while, whatever.
Yeah. got a plan, sounds like.
Yep. Had to defend Zoe to my parents though, because when they realized how expensive her school is, though, they were like, "Well, you might talk to her about that because it doesn't sound like the ROI is worth it." Blah blah blah. I was like, tell her what? That she should just go work a regular hourly job, you know? I was like, this is what she wants to do. She wants to go to school for art. She's an artist. She's done lots of art stuff.
Yeah.
She wants to be an entrepreneur and sell her art stuff. And I figure having that degree will be like having a little bit of a can't think of the right word, but they're showing that she's that she's educated, that she's not just a random artist, but she actually has a bachelor's in art and blah blah blah, So we told her, because those she made a couple of comments to Aaron, which I didn't hear, but I heard Aaron be like, "Well, because we want to help you go after your dreams." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Don't worry about what the Blodgett grandparents say." I was like, they're not saying you shouldn't go to college because they think negatively about you. They care about us. They know that it's going to be like a lot of student loans. But I was like, I already told them that I want you to do what you want to do, and you want to get a college degree and go after your art dreams. I was like, Mom and I are going to do everything we can to help you out with it and stuff, but
yeah.
Your grandparents love you. They're just concerned. Obviously they're just concerned or whatever. So. And I think this is why we don't really talk to your history off, Dad.
Yeah, I get it. But how many times have you heard, Robin Williams famously, when his parents, he told his parents he wanted to be an actor, and, they said, "Oh, that's great, son, well, you better have a backup, like a plumber." You know what I mean?
Well, did I tell you
and
about
it's fucking Robin Williams.
I think I told you about the pilot thing, right? Where I was going to be a pilot, but I was $4,000, $5,000 short of that first semester. My parents were like, "It's a dead end job, being an airline pilot, and we feel like we'd be wasting money if we helped you out with it." And I was like, had financial aid for the rest of it. It was like $17,000. I had $12,000 that I'd already secured.
Dead end job.
But this is back 2002 or something, 2003. And I was approved. I was ready to go start, but I just had to come up with the rest of the thing. They said once you get in what they told me is once you get in your first semester, once you get everything paid for and you get in the door, after that point, it's a lot easier to get your financial aid and stuff for future semesters. Once you're in the door, they'll get you covered. They'll figure out grants and loans and all. And so I was trying to get that first semester, and I was telling Zoe about it, and I was like, the 2 passions were flying and driving, and I was like, I almost was a pilot, but when my parents basically said, "No, we're not going to help you get that remaining $5,000," I said, compared to now, I don't take no for an answer. I'm continually working towards what I'm trying to do, like podcast and now the coffee shop and stuff. But I said back then, I kind of took no and was like, oh well, shit, okay. And I didn't try to figure something else out. I just basically figured, fuck, it's not going to happen again. I was looking back now, I'm like, well, shit. I should have done this, but hindsight,
Yeah.
I could have delayed for a year and said, "Hey, put me down for next year, and I'll try to come up with the remaining $5,000 over the next 12 months. That way we can get it paid, and blah, blah, blah." But I just basically took that out. Possible, I guess. So if you're listening to this show, somebody tells you no on something you're trying to achieve, just know you should not just take that no and run with it. You should actually try to keep trying to figure out how to do it, because it's possible. Just because one avenue didn't work, there's other options out there for how to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm here. The gate is fucking locked, and when I get in, if they ever come let me in, there's a fucking car in my way where I need to turn around at.
Sign on the door. Come back later.
Every fucking time.
You got to call it.
Well, once you pull in here, you're stuck. There's no way to get out without coming in the parking lot and turning around. There's that limited room in here where that's the only fucking way.
Oh yeah, man. What do they do? Have you go around the building once you're in there?
No, you gotta come in. You pull through the gate and go to the left, where the employee parking lot is, and they're all supposed to park just on the right, so you can come in and stay to the left. And then at the end of the employee lot, there's a gravel lot you spin around in, so you got to have enough room. And then you come back out the gate, and then back up to where the silos are at. That's the only way to do it. There's no other way to do it. You know what I mean?
I got you.
There's limited room. I'm in the middle of fucking Harrisburg. Like, this is a constant issue.
Yep. All right, man. What's that email address that people can email for the raw chat?
rawchatpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
Obviously.
Who knows, guys? Maybe next time we'll have Chuck on here. Maybe Janelle too.
Yeah, somebody else instead of us being boring.
Well, it's funny because we figured that both of them were actually going to be on this call, though.
Yeah, I know. That's what we get for figuring.
Yep.
Shit.
Well, I'll let you try to figure out how to get in touch with somebody, and whenever you get Chuck on the line next time, we'll give it another try. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's been fun as always.
Yes, sir. Enjoy the rest of your day.
You too, man.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hey, I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation after today, so don't call me. Not that you ever call me, but I won't be back till next week. So
call y'all next week. Gotcha. Just kidding. Oh, so
yeah. All right.
You're out for the rest of this week, but you're back next week.
Yes.
I got you.
Yeah, we're
cool.
taking the kids to the Great Wolf Lodge again.
Ah, got you. Hear that, guys? Drop by that.
Yeah. Yeah,
good
like, luck.
Hey, are you the raw chat dude? What?
Yeah.
All right, man. Have fun of your vacation.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Bye.